It's been 3 long years since RTD ruined Doctor Who, and people are finally starting to realise that Chris Chibnall was a king. Chris Chibnall may have had minor faults, but he never, ever meant anything as campy, stupid, and unfitting for Doctor Who than the Goblin song. You know, for all the complaints about Chris Chibnall being woke, he never, ever wrote anything as woke as RTD's male-presenting Time Lords, or any other stupid nonsense like Planet of the Incels.
Planet of the Incels?
You want to hear the Planet of the Incels? Go to r/Gallifrey. That's the Planet of the Incels, ladies and gentlemen. But above all, Chris Chibnall made an era that looked good, with a budget of £1 million per an episode. Chris Chibnall made the show look far better than it does in RTD's second era, which is a budget of £4 to £5 million an episode. I want to put comparisons on screen. Even in the classical under John Nathan Turner, the show looked better. For example, look at the rogue aliens, the bird people. Look at them. Just look at this and compare it to the aliens in Visitation, or any handful of other stories. I'll put some on the screen right now. And tell me this is a visual upgrade for Doctor Who. And finally, the Doctor. The character was far better in Chibnall's era. Jodie Whittaker, for all her faults, she was miscast, is far better playing Doctor Who than Ncuti Gatwa. And I'll be the first to say both terribly miscast. But I believe the same about David Tennant and Christopher Eccleston. You know, Jodie, maybe she wasn't complex or deep enough, or maybe lacked the sort of anger and sort of intimidation of other doctors. Fine, I'll give you that. But Ncuti Gatwa has far less of that. Could you imagine Ncuti Gatwa in any classic story? You know, I could at least imagine Jodie Whittaker in some 80s stories. I mean, not well, but possibly. Ncuti Gatwa's character as a doctor was just him. He's a bad actor in Doctor Who. He's like some trendy gay millennial who dances in sort of nightclubs. This is the character of the Doctor now, dancing in nightclubs. Ncuti Gatwa, she has no commonalities with the classic doctors, or even the Moffat doctors. He can't be angry, he can't be intimidating, he can't be inquisitive, he can't play curiosity. He does not play an eccentric, time-traveling alien of some sort. I want to play some clips of the Moffat doctors and the classic doctors being angry or intimidating. And Ncuti Gatwa can't be that. He just can't.
I can do whatever the hell I like. You've read the stories. You know who I am.
I am far more than just another Time Lord.
The Doctor is no longer here. You are stuck with me.
To kill Davros.
I'm the winner.
Fear me. I've killed all of them.
Davros must die.
Me in the eye! Get out! Fear me.
Go! Bloody cretins! Get out!
You will die! You will die!
Your blood!
Go to hell.
I had this image macro sent to me in a Chris Chibnall apology form from the user Sleepy Who. Tons of seethed comments, people saying, I won't apologise to Chibnall. No, you're wrong, but he's right. He's totally right. And his first point is I hoped RTD would learn how to write, which is just true. RTD could never write. You know, Christopher Bermead, like 20 years ago in 2009, got it right when he said RTD's a first draft writer. RTD's best series, the end of that series is Rose Tyler opens up the TARDIS, and magical pixie dust gives us the powers to delete the Daleks, and the name Bad Wolf appears for reasons, and she puts the name Bad Wolf all throughout time and space. That's the arc. The Doctor sees somebody writing Bad Wolf and graffiti in a bunch of different areas, and the conclusion from that the audience was supposed to make is that Rose Tyler will do it with magical pixie dust powers. And this is right. This is the writing of RTD. It's bad. It's always been bad. You know, his worst episodes and his best episodes, they're basically the same. The only difference is the aesthetics and the cast. It's all, you know, all this stuff is held up by the actors and the audio and the music and all this. And if you watch his episodes and you ignore the music, it's shallow and it's stupid. It's always been that way. He's been a horrible writer since the beginning. And the second point is I want to reference up, which is true. Series 11 was Chris Chibnall's best era by far. But they say Flux is better, which is Flux is the worst of his eras. Or reference up the Daleks Simon every other episode. Chris Chibnall had the bravery to make a season without them. And they hated him for it. In RTD, every finale has to have a classic villain, a one-off classic villain that didn't need to be brought back. And then, Ncuti Gatwa has an iPad where he watches Tom Baker in the Pyramids of Mars. And you can't get more reference up than that. That's just lazy. He's literally on an iPad watching the previous episode. It's just sad. And the third point, I hate science fiction. They do. RTD brought back Doctor Who as Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Your sort of teen coming-of-age drama fantasy show. Doctor Who was supposed to be a sci-fi show. People say, oh, there are episodes in the 70s, the 80s that may have not been sci-fi. But generally, the vast majority of classic Who was sci-fi. Doctor Who is a science fiction show at its basis, and RTD hates that. Because he likes to have a magical pixie wand he waves around that solves a plot of every episode. That's how it's been since 2005. The next point is I judged him purely from what misogynistic people said. And isn't there not a truer statement said, folks? They just hated Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker because she's a woman, and we all know that. Shooty Gatwa is a far worse actor, but because he fits the proclivities of the Doctor Who fan base, they like him. It's just tough, folks. It's just tough. Just see the incels. See the incels. Jodie Whittaker is the Queen of Gallifrey, and you will accept that. And the next reason is I don't know who. And it's right. These people don't know Doctor Who at all. You just simply don't. Because RTD doesn't know how to write for Doctor Who. He's a fanboy writing fanfiction, totally missing the point of Doctor Who. He doesn't know the point of the character of the Doctor. The character of the Doctor is not to be Rose's boyfriend. He's supposed to be like her dad or something, her surrogate dad. That's why Ace called him the Professor. It's quite obvious. He doesn't understand the character of the Doctor. He doesn't understand time travel. He doesn't understand science fiction. He doesn't understand cause and effect. And the fifth point, I listen to video essayists. Also true. The video essayists, they've all gone silent. Where are the essayists now? Compare the bad moments in Jodie Whittaker's episodes to Shooty's episodes, and you tell me which one deserved more ire. And I think all of us should take the pledge right now. I will hereby respect Chris Chibnall, and I will not talk down on the leader of Doctor Who. Your apology needs to be allowed as your disrespect was. And we need to go to all these haters, these A-log, but these people who hated Chris Chibnall and then loved RTD 2.0. They just want a reference up and they hate science fiction. And that's it. They just want to see David Tennant and they want to see a show about like a queer, metrosexual, whatever, prancing around. Chris Chibnall wanted to do something smart and better. And they hated him for it. The same way they hated John Nathan Turner for having the audacity to try to make Doctor Who better. I know, it's tough. And if you disagree, write your essays in the comments below, because I won't read them, and you'll waste your time for my bemusement.